Well, welcome along to this live stream coverage of the Kent Spitfires against the old enemy Surrey. We are at the business end of the group stage of the T20 Blast. Myself, Dave Fulton, former Kent captain, and Cameron Emmanuel Burns alongside me as always. Another cracking day here at the Spitfire ground. St Lawrence, a little bit cooler than it was a week ago when Kent entertained Nottinghamshire. But yeah, it is a beautiful day. Decent sized crowd in as well. As Kent, well, it's a must-win game, Cam. 2 games, must win them both and hope things go our way.
Equations where we could go for it. I don't want to put it out there, but with the 1 win, we'll take you through that later. But yes, must win 2. Whenever Surrey comes into town, it's a big event. But it's on it now, isn't it? It's the back end of the competition. 2 big games. Yeah,
permutations plenty at this stage of a competition, but you can see there the Kent faithful are here in good number, as you'd expect, because it is Surrey and it is a Friday night and there is so much on the line. Remember this time last year when Kent squeaked through, Surrey actually doing Kent a favour down in Hove, beating Sussex, and Kent winning here against Essex. That was the last group game. This, of course, the penultimate group game. Middlesex are coming here on Sunday afternoon. And so we await the players to come through that Guard of Honour, which today is performed by youngsters from Littlebourne Cricket Club. But yeah, Surrey always seem to be a thorn in the side, but good win at the Oval. Toss was key that day, but Kent comprehensive. They've beaten them this year already.
Yeah, best bowling performance of the comp for Kent, keeping them to around 116. They'll need something like that again tonight, but they're going to be doing it differently. They'll be setting the tone today with the bat, obviously losing the toss. And it'll be a bit of a different formula for Kent this year. Normally their best performances have come while chasing, so we'll have to see a different side to Kent.
Yeah, so that news for the toss, as Cameron just mentioned, Surrey winning it, opting to bowl first. And there's a T20 Blast debut for Ekant Singh, who's replacing Joe Denley, who got that rather nasty whack to the shin, and it came up like a football. I was going to say like an egg. It was certainly bigger than the cricket ball. It was an extraordinary lump on the side of his leg. It's nothing serious. It is a hematoma, but it's going to keep him out for a little while. So he's out. So the batting order is Tawanda Miyeye. Good to see him back the other day and in the runs alongside Daniel Drum and Zach Crawley at 3, Sam Billings at 4. So that much vaunted top 4. It's been in decent touch this year. Then it's Harry Finch at 5, the debutant Ekant Singh at 6, Grant Stewart, Tom Rogers, Jake Lintott, Matt Milnes, and the Bangladeshi fast bowler Hassan Mahmood, who I'm really looking forward to seeing in T20 action tonight, because I was speaking to Zach Crawley just yesterday, and they said that he has got a rocket ball in him. He bowls within himself, and then he can bowl genuinely quick. And Zach has faced and seen some of the quickest in the world. So really looking forward to seeing him do his thing.
No, absolutely. I was thrilled when I saw him picked up in the county championship side. He's proved his worth there already, performed excellently, and obviously has come back in with a few injuries and so on. He's come back early and performed excellent in his first outing for us as well. So looking forward to seeing him tonight.
Well, as for the visitors who are coming out onto the field right now, Ollie Pope captaining, and Jason Roy and Laurie Evans, the opening batters. Roy coming off a fantastic 100 against the Sharks just a few nights ago. So Jason Roy, Laurie Evans, Josh Philippi, the Australian wicket-keeper batter, Dan Lawrence, Ollie Pope, Tom Curran, no Sam Curran, of course, he's away with England at the moment, Jordan Clark, Tom Laws, Sean Abbott, Chris Jordan and Reece Topley. So a star-studded lineup, a lot of pace in that bowling lineup. I think Dan Lawrence looks like the only spin option to me, so he'll bowl the spin, and spin can be a real factor here. But Topley, Jordan, Abbott, Clark, plenty of pace options. They just keep coming at you with quick men to Surrey.
It's amazing, isn't it? They can take out Sam Curran, Will Jacks, obviously away with England, and that star-studded side doesn't look too much different. But you're right, not much spin option there. We've seen kind of a pattern where after the power play here, especially in that first innings, Kent or whoever else has been playing has been able to slow things down for the spin and the medium paces once you're out those power play overs. So it'll be interesting to see how they go there.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking at Kent's lineup as well. It looks like just the 1 spin option for the Spitfires with Jake Lintott, because obviously no Joe Denley, and obviously Jack Leaning, who was a bit of a feature of the Kent lineup in the Blast for the last few years. He's going to move to Sussex, so that was another string to his bow, and he performed pretty well. So just Jake Lintott on the one hand, Dan Lawrence on the other to bowl spin. But it's going to be Reece Topley to kick things off. He's got Tawanda Miyeye in his sights as Jason Roy is just adjusting the helmet of the batters. I mean, that's nice and friendly, isn't it? It wouldn't have happened in my day with Surrey player coming over and just tidying up my lid. Here's Topley. Swing and a miss from Mieye, who always likes to give a bit of early impetus. Looks so much stronger, the Kent batting lineup with him at the top, and that's no disrespect to anyone who's come in his absence, but he is a rare talent.
It's also that partnership it brings with Deeves at the top. Been going strong for the last couple of years. Good sense for Bell Drummond as well. He's missed his opening partner.
Big shout. Is it going to be given? Did it touch anything down the leg side? The umpire is unmoved, and there's no signal of wide, so it must have brushed a thigh pad. The Surrey fielders seem pretty convinced that that might have brushed a glove on the way through. We're down at deep third man, difficult for us to tell. We might get a second look at it on the replay, but tough one to give. No wide, so it must have brushed something, you'd think.
It was a great grab.
Yeah, good take. A good cricketer, Philippi. Oh, that was, might have been back thigh.
Yeah.
And Mieye is away with a boundary. It was uppish, and mid-off just for a second was interested, but it was cleanly struck, as it so often is when it leaves the bat of Tawanda Mieye, and can open their account with a nicely struck four down the ground.
Yeah, we've come to see that a lot from the early in his innings. Those check drives, beautifully timed. Nice confidence booster.
Yeah, he'll try and get it up there. He likes to swing the ball back into the right-hander. This one's pulled away to deep square. It'll just be the single, bring Daniel Drummond onto strike. He got a useful 60 a couple of games ago. Bizarre how the fixtures work, isn't it? You know, it feels like an age ago that we won at the Oval.
Yeah.
It was kind of halfway through the part one of the group stage, isn't it? That we played at the Oval, and then suddenly you get kind of Hampshire when you're playing back to back. It's
top of the table.
Yeah.
So.
That is trademark Bell Drummond, with the third man inside the circle. He often sneaks that past the fielder, Tom Curran, there with a good stop, but can't prevent the single.
And Reece Topley here he's been on top form actually for Surrey. Their best performer with the ball this year. 18 wickets, 7.8. He's been their real strong man, because Laws is next up with 9, so half the amount of wickets. So he's the danger man here for Kent.
And a play and a miss from Mieye. So decent start from Topley. It's kind of what you'd expect from the big fast bowler. Such a canny operator with that left arm angle. He likes to swing the ball back, but he also will hit the pitch, go across you. Good to see him back playing. And so many injuries, isn't he? 2 or 3 quite serious stress fractures of the back and other injury problems. So he's really done well to fight back time and time again. Rehab he's done over the years. But they're getting a consistent run of form and some games, and showing what a quality operator he is.
Those injuries you feel really have derailed his international career, which he's had a few stabs at. I'm not sure what his age is now, actually.
We'll have a look in just a second, but here's Jordan Clark. I'll let you take this over.
Oh, beaten again, just prodding outside as Mieye. Oh no, Deeves there. Jordan Clark is always such a steady performer. Bowls quicker than you think as well.
Yeah, he's been a Surrey a while now, hasn't he? Came down from Lancashire. Good acquisition. Surrey always seem to do their business early, don't they? They've been at it again this season. They've picked up some good players, the likes of Dan Lawrence. And
dabbed away. Again, trademark that from Deeves, just getting into his innings here. Yeah, I think they picked up Henry Crocombe already from Surrey for next year.
Yeah, Henry Crocombe, Sussex fast bowler. And they've done the same with the likes of Matt Fisher, who was at Yorkshire, who obviously played a test match a few weeks back. So they're always an attractive destination, are Surrey.
Once again, tremendous length that from Clark. Kent Batt's not too sure to go forward or back. Perhaps a little bit of movement out there as well. Haven't seen this wicket as well in a while. This one seems a bit further away from us in our commentary standpoint. Not so much of a small leg side out towards the flats this time around. Solidly in behind that one. Very tidy start this from Surrey and from Clark.
It just looks like he's got a little bit of pace in it, which is good to see. A couple of those deliveries have zipped past the outside edge. You say maybe slightly higher up the square than is traditional for these T20 Blast games, but Jordan Clark can work up a decent bit of pace, and Topley obviously has a new ball and he's 6'6", 6'7", so you'd expect it to carry through, but some good signs here.
Pulled away, it's gone straight up. Fielder's chasing backwards. It's going to be. Oh, it's tremendously taken. Who's there at short third? Is that Topley?
I think that could be Topley, and if it is, it's just an extraordinary catch, because I would have had my mortgage, and it's a hefty one, I can tell you the mortgage, and on him dropping that, because he didn't seem to know where it had gone. Nor did we really. We knew it had gone behind somewhere, but he started taking off in the wrong direction. He was kind of heading on a clock face. You'd say maybe 11 o'clock when he needed to be going about 1:30.
Yeah.
But eventually it went so high that he was able to locate it. He was able to get the radar back on track, re-navigate, and got underneath it. But he had a lot of work to do. That is a hell of a catch. And
Lavoy as well, running back with him.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, maybe he was directing him left a bit, right a bit, right a bit.
That's a terrific catch.
Yeah, it's a brilliant catch, and it's an important wicket as well, because we know how dangerous Miyeye can be. So Zach Crawley, the new batter. Miyeye's gone. Decent over this from Jordan Clark. Just the one off it, 3 dots, and the wicket. So Surrey have started well here. Remember, they have qualified already. Well, maybe they're not quite in, are they? But they're 24 points.
Yeah.
I mean, a win here will guarantee their qualification. They'll also be hunting a home quarter-final, which is the big thing for them. Get in the knockout stages first, but keep winning games, and home quarter-final, and with it all that extra income. Here's Clark.
Bit of blotch in the over there, wided. Yeah, Zach's had a bit of a mixed season. I don't think by his standards. Your 2 best players, only about 220 runs. He had that one tremendous innings. I remember we saw 75, I believe, against Sussex earlier on in the season, but not too much else to write home about. And of course, now without his England duties, he's been able to focus purely on this format. He didn't play the few Red Bull games. Stump clipped off the leg. They'll go for a quick single. They get home.
Yeah, good over for Jordan Clark. Just the 3 runs off it, and the valuable wicket of Tawanda Miyeye. Reece Topley, incidentally, just 32 years of age. He's been around a long time. I would have thought he was a bit older than that. Would have had him at kind of 35, 36. He kind of started at Essex as a 17-year-old. So played for a lot of years. Probably not played the amount of games he would have liked because of those injuries, but just great to see him back playing. And a very, very handy customer, particularly when the ball's swinging and it's a kind of muggy late afternoon. It's been very warm here again in Canterbury, as it has up and down the country, so you'd expect him to swing the new ball a little bit, which is why he's going to continue here. It's a handsome looking drive from Crawley, but intercepted at extra cover by Dan Lawrence. Interesting field that Surrey have here to Crawley. That deep cover is behind square. The 3rd man is inside the ring and quite fine. A drive man in effect, trying to narrow the angles through extra cover. Wide this time, but Josh Philippi, the leaping salmon. Is it Pope behind the stumps? Pope, yeah, it's Ollie Pope. Yeah, it's Ollie Pope. I'm giving Philippi all the credit for doing the work behind the stumps, and it's Ollie Pope. That is high. He's going to take some catching again. It's very similar to the Topley catch, and this one does land safe. Nothing that the fielders could do about that. Two of them converging on the ball, but it was always likely to beat them. A pretty good look at it from our angle. Jordan Clark was one. I'm not sure if it was Sean Abbott, the other one. Yeah, they were both running back for that. Just have another little look at that one that went up in the air. You could see the pull shot coming here from Crawley. Got underneath it. It was a top edge. And you can see the two men going back. Jordan Clark, great effort. And just for a horrible moment, thought they might be on collision course. I was at Arundel and Moses Enriques and Rory Burns crashed heads. Game abandoned. Both knocked unconscious. All chance, half chance. If even a quarter chance, really. Smashed that back. Crawley at Topley, and it hit him. Couldn't get his hands up. Probably saved 3 runs in truth.
Been a pretty impressive start this from the two Surrey seamers. Touch nervy as well, a couple top edges. What would you say results in the top edge? A bit more extra bounce, a bit more speed?
Yeah, just potentially a bit more pace and bounce in this pitch than has been the norm. It has had a hot sun on it, and if you get the right amount of rolling and moisture, and so you can bake a pretty hard surface. So it's looking like a good pitch to bat on, but you've got to get in. Drummond cuts, and that's the advantage of the pace in the pitch. If you get a little bit of width, you can use it. Daniel Bell-Drummond's so adept at doing just that. The third man is quite square. I suggest too square because he's got those fine wrists. He's a more backward point, really, Tom Laws. He's got third man inside the circle. That's Tom Curran, and he's thinking Ollie Pope is talking to Reece Topley about switching those over, and in fact that's going to happen now. So backward point comes up, and third man goes back, or conventional field. Another decent over from Topley. This one safely negotiated by the two batters. A streaky couple of runs for Zach Crawley and a beautifully dapped 4 by Daniel Bell-Drummond. So a bit of work to do for these two. Early loss of Tawanda Miyeye. Good to see a good crowd in. Frank Woolley stand. That's probably the coolest place to be. You're out the sun there. It's a warm day. We of course not out the sun, are we? We've got the sun coming straight into our commentary position and straight into the eyes. But I'm not going to moan about that anymore.
Does often seem to be the way. They position this gazebo just perfect for
it's not a bad vantage point.
I keep calling out for us to be given one of the flats as a studio. Maybe next year. Clark to go again. You just look down the options they still have to come, whether it be in this power play or outside it. Australian international Sean Abbott, who of course, it's not just handling with the ball. We've seen firsthand with the bat. Tom Laws has had, as I said, a pretty good season. He's on the rise as well. And then you've got the experience of Tom Curran with his change-ups, and of course CJ. On the drive, lovely looking shot. Top bit of field, and that is for the overseas. Sean Abbott there at mid-on, going down what would have been a certain boundary. But a good looking start this from Bell-Drummond. He seems to, the shapes look right.
Yeah, I think whenever there's pace in the pitch, he really can come into his own. He likes the pace on the ball because he's got those good wrists. He's a good touch player, but he's also good on the short ball. He can pull and cut with the best of them. So the more pace in the pitch. In fact, both these two. I mean, no one plays quick bowling better than Zach Crawley, really.
Again, I don't know if he got all of that, but
We got enough.
it will get away for Crawley's boundary, entirely off the mark. Getting a touch short, and as you say, no one's quicker onto it than Zach Crawley. It's kind of off the front foot.
Well, it's a brave option to bang it into Zach Crawley because he's faced some of the quickest in world cricket, the likes of Cummins and Stark and whatever, and he can pull them. Jordan Clark is not slow, but he's not as quick as they are, and this is a decent surface, so worth a little look. The second man is going back now on the leg side boundary, so 2 men back for that shot, but he'd be better advised, I think, to hit the top of off stump rather than explore halfway down. Much better length, yeah, much better length. Interestingly, I was listening to Ravi Bopara's analysis, that game on the telly the other night from the Oval against the Sharks, and Ravi said one of the things that's worked well for Surrey is having Chris Jordan bowling outside the power play. So at times this campaign he's bowled, maybe because the bowling options have been less bountiful, shall we say. He's bowled at the top and then he's bowled at the death, but actually to have him bowl 2 overs in the middle and then 2 overs at the end has been a real factor in Surrey's upturn in form.
Oh yeah, as you say, but to have that choice must be lovely. To be able to bring someone of Jordan's experience and have a couple overs with the field out and banging those Yorkers, and he's still sharp enough as Jordan.
Well, if you look at Topley, Jordan, Abbott, Laws and Clark, that is an international bowling attack right there, because Tom Laws is England Lions bowler. The others have all played international cricket, and plus Jordan Clark as well, of course, who hasn't, but he's a fine cricketer. Yeah, a bit with Laws.
Again, nudged out to that fielder at deep square. Thoughts on him, his prospects going forward, Laws?
Yeah, he's a nice cricketer. He's a skillful bowler. He's a bit quicker than people think, but he's got good wrist. He can bat. A good work ethic. I didn't have long enough with him to have a kind of fully formed opinion, but nice lad, and like what I saw. But Surrey have a lot of them.
Yeah.
So if you're getting in the team regularly in all forms of the game, you can bet your bottom dollar he's a good cricketer.
And that's the other thing that the seamers share. They all bat. Look at Carded at least here. Jordan coming in at 10. Blind.
Yeah, it's probably only Reece Topley who is a recognised tail ender. The rest of them could bat 5 or 6, couldn't they?
Oh, lovely.
Nailed. Bit of a loosener from Sean Abbott, and Daniel Bell-Drummond cutting that well in front of the square, down the hill, 4-4. Make ball short and wide to Daniel Bell-Drummond.
Single. I enjoy that. That's good cricket, isn't it? 4 and then the damn quick single from Bell-Drummond.
Yeah, well, I think you have intention to score, and in an ideal world you want to strike every ball to the fence if you can, but the key really is not to face too many dots, hit your boundaries, but then in between times when he bowls an immaculate delivery, there was a loosener hit for 4 and the next one was on the money from Abbott. So Crawley just pulls away, a bit of movement behind the bowler's arm. Never nice for a bowler when that happens. Just back to his mark and try again. But yeah, so when you get that perfect delivery, top of off stump, hitting the splice, can you be good enough to just drop it in a gap, release that bottom hand a little bit to stop it short of a fielder and get through for a single.
Yeah, once again, interesting ploy this. They've obviously spotted someone that's out. 2 men out on the leg side as soon as he comes on strike. And perhaps instinctively going for that pull shot. Out there for the miss hit, but we know he can tie them and clear them. And with his reach, if they just get a touch on a length, he can deposit that over the mid on mid off. Just as I said.
Right on cue, Cap.
Those long levers. Gets that big front foot down the wicket and plants. Doesn't quite get all of it. Perhaps a bit toey. Oh no, that's the ball before.
Good shot from Zach Crawley. Pressure back on Sean Abbott. Approaching 12,000 of you watching on the stream. Good to have you with us. Especially if you're tuning in from Bangladesh, ready to watch Hassan Mahmood do his thing. This one clipped away through square leg. Or once again followed by a single, so decent over this from the Spitfires. It's a highlight of last year's campaign was the win here against Essex on the final day of the group stage, and then the players and fans hung around watching the big screen as we watched the feed.
Oh, big swing. Big swing from Bell Drummond there, not connecting, just going away from the graceful shots he's been playing up to now, feeling the pressure of the power play coming to a close soon. Yeah, big swipe. Although I feel if he'd connected with it, that would have gone outside of Canterbury. Oh yeah, the Surrey fans made the trip down from London. They were allowed in. She seems pretty happy with the start her team has made so far. Right, final over the power play will be Clark to continue. Pulled strongly but straight to the man who's been positioned out there. Deep square legs, just a single. Yeah, Kent 36 for 1, 5 balls left of this power play. They'd like to be as close as to 50 as possible, but 45, somewhere around there. Again, well bowled, tucked Bell Drummond up, it'll just be a single. It's the onside.
Delighted to say, welcome, walking into the commentary box. Former Kent and England and Denmark fast bowler Amjad Khan is going to join us on commentary at the end of this over for another 6-over stint at the end of the power play. A little turn in hospitality. First time back for 10 years for Amjad.
Wow.
Ground's changed a bit, I think.
Use of the feet. Crawley's got hold of this one. That'll be the first 6 of the day. Doesn't matter if that leg side's a bit bigger. Crawley still acts as it, but lovely use of the feet to get down to that one and just clip it off the leg, although it seemed still a bit of a bit hooky, bit shovelly. But
well, I think
connection.
what you can do, batting at that end of the ground, you've got the slope, everything's kind of in your favour. The ball tends to, if anything, just run down the slope. So drop kicking it over the leg side is definitely a good option.
Use of the feet again, this time drilled straight, not reaching Roy at mid-on. Oh.
Just for a second there, I thought he'd skimmed one straight at Jason Roy, but he luckily didn't quite middle it. If he'd have middled that, I think it would have picked Roy out about chest high, but it just came off the bottom half of the bat, and that was good news really for Zach Crawley. Picked up that 6 the ball before. The last thing you want to do is then throw it away. Whacking one straight at a fielder.
You imagine he's going to keep going. Just 2 balls left of the power play. Clark in and goes straight, this time over Roy's head. One bounce forward down the ground. Starting to tick here is Crawley. Lovely shot.
Yep, very good from Zach Crawley. Got the length on this occasion, and the ball before almost a bit of a dress rehearsal. And when you don't get one and you get the next one in the same spot, you can almost, you've had a bit of a sighter, and you needed no second invitation. Deposited that one. Nice swing of the bat. Didn't try and overhit it with mid on in the circle. So 6 and a 4 from this over. See if we can finish in style.
Nice use of the wrists. Laws going round. Be just the single. That'll complete the power play. Kent 48 for 1. Loss of Mieye, of course, not great, but you'd think they've done well. Surrey have bowled decently, and this pair have batted pretty sensibly, I'd say.
Yep, they certainly have. It's a good recovery from that early loss of Tawanda Mieye. It's a big top edge pull, brilliantly caught by Reece Topley. But as we welcome Abjad Khan, we'll get Cameron back in 20 minutes or so. Amy, good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me, Dave. Good to see Zach Crawley doing Zach Crawley things.
Yep, Zach, very dangerous customer. Obviously had a bit of a tough time of things with being dropped by England and not having found his best form, but it's a long season and there's still plenty of time for him to find that very best touch. So first look at spin, the only spinner on show really in the Surrey lineup is Dan Lawrence with his quite quirky action, reverse sweep, and beautifully played. So Crawley showing his power and showing he's got plenty of finesse as well. And again, striking down the slope, good percentage option, and that brings up Spitfires 50. Lovely shot. Got that in your locker?
Unfortunately not, Dave. Not skillful enough to do that. Was, as mentioned, good to see Crawley showing all his varieties.
Quicker and flatter from Lawrence, and Crawley content just to bunt that down the ground to long on, enables Danny Bell-Drummond to stroll a single, which you don't see too often in T20. It's a warm day, conserving a bit of energy. So Crawley 31 off 18, Bell-Drummond 15 off 12, been starved of the strike a little bit last couple of overs. Plays that little dab shot and they'll take the single. Trying to bisect those two men behind square. Difficult when you're playing a cut shot. Easier when you're playing a reverse sweep, albeit there's a bit more risk attached. This has gone straight up. It's going to take some catching. Two fielders coming in. It's going to be long on, and he's taken. So that is the end of Zach Crawley. It was short and sweet. It was fun while it lasted. But the introduction of Dan Lawrence and the spin, he went for the big slog sweep. He was targeting the Cowdrey stand or mid-wicket, somewhere in that region, got underneath it. And another decent catch in the outfield from Surrey. So Kent lose their second, 54 for 2. Crawley goes for 31.
Yeah. Big edge, straight up in the air. Yeah, that's an excellent catch.
Yep, Laurie Evans hasn't put many down. Laurie Evans, solid pair of hands, good fielder, great arm. Very much a T20 specialist these days, Laurie Evans. Talking of which, here is Sam Billings, the much travelled. What a season he's having, been in really good touch.
It's a shame with Zach getting out, but a bit of momentum after losing that first wicket. Some good stroke play to get us back into the game. But Dave, what do you reckon about this start? And with the Jason Roy factor, what score do we need here?
Well, I think it's a decent pitch. My early impression, and Surrey have got some guys that can get it through. You know, Topley's a tall man, Jordan Clark's a kind of skiddy pace. But it looked like it was whistling through to Ollie Pope behind the stumps. So if it's a quick pitch, it generally means there's plenty of runs on show. So Billings just knocks this one down the ground and ambles the single. I would think you're looking at 180 plus. The closer you can get to 200, the better. If anything, it could possibly quicken up. So, yeah, important to get a decent score on the board. They've got such a long batting lineup. Surrey with the likes of Roy Evans, Philippi, Lawrence, Pope. They just keep coming.
We'll be interested to see how they maneuver the spin now, and if they will conciliate a little bit right now for a few overs before they go again.
Yeah, well, Zach Crawley got that reverse sweep away, first ball off Dan Lawrence, but the wicket's obviously going to slow things up. So decent introduction. Good move from Ollie Pope to get spin on at Zach Crawley early on. So 1 for 8 off his one over. It looks like it's going to be the very experienced Chris Jordan, former captain in this format of the game. Surrey coming into the attack. So this is the point that Ravi Bopara made the other day on the televised game is the advantage of having someone as experienced as Chris Jordan who can pick up wickets in the middle. Got still bowls mid to high 80s. He can hurry you up with a bumper. Got a good slower ball. He's got a great Yorker, of course. So he can take wickets in the middle and then he'll come back and bowl a couple at the death as well. He's bowling for the Nackington Road end. This one's short and an appeal. They like it. It was a bit half-hearted, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't full-on appeal. You certainly couldn't hear anything from out here.
Yeah, we're about 150 yards away, but you can sometimes tell by the way a fielding side goes up. Daniel Bell-Drummond trying to play that kind of back cut, trying to dab it down towards maybe the edge of the Frank Woolley stand, maybe pick up a boundary if he times it. It is a trademark shot of his. But just a bit of pace and bounce in this surf. He's got to be a bit careful. He can glove those or nick those through to the keeper. A good start from Jordan. On the pull, there's a man out there. And it's gone. It's just hit it straight down his throat. So really disappointing that from Daniel Bell-Drummond. It's a strength of his, the pull. But Chris Jordan hitting the deck hard, and Tom Laws with a straightforward catch at deep square leg. So Kent lose their third and their second in quick succession. So Jordan into the attack wicket. Lawrence was into the attack wicket. These bowling changes working well for Ollie Pope.
Yeah, as you were mentioning about Chris Jordan, very skillful bowler, but you always feel that he's coming at you, whether it's with the Yorker, whether it's back of length. There's not much width, it's always at you or at the stumps. And he's, as you said, got variations of the slower ball and good pace, which makes him very skillful and very difficult to get away.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? We've seen Daniel Bell-Drummond, Tawanda Miyeye and Zach Crawley, who are three of the best pullers of a cricket ball, probably in the county game, I go so far as to saying, and three of them have got out with cross-bat shots. Zach Crawley was nearly got out earlier. He's top edge that one, it landed in the gap. Miyeye top edge caught by Reece Topley, and Daniel Bell-Drummond a bit splicey on that one. So it's either a touch too pace. My instinct is it looks a good pitch. Could be wrong, we're a long way away. But it might be that it's just hurrying the Kent batters a little bit. I think it's quite a quick surface. Nackington Road end, your favourite end, of course. Never bowl from the other end, really.
Well, of course not, downhill with the breeze.
Jordan in, and defending is Finch. So interesting how Harry Finch has gone kind of up and down this order. Very much a utility player. Where is the gap when Tawanda Miyeye was out with his concussion? Harry Finch slotted in at the top. Back comes Miyeye, and Finch has dropped down to the middle overs, or the middle order. Quite at the middle overs yet. Different role for him.
Chris Jordan right on the money again. It's been interesting to follow Harry Finch's progression. I played with him at Sussex where he was a youngster, and even then he was a very versatile player, and it almost felt there was nothing he couldn't do. Certainly showing with what you're describing.
Well, of course, he's kept wicket in the championship for Kent. He's been, well, Chris Benjamin has been preferred to him this year, but came in last year when Zach Crawley went off to England, batted 3. This year he's open and batted 5. He's playing an attractive back foot punch here. We'll just get the single for it. Opens his account. He's a very good fielder as well for someone who is a wicket keeper. I know he hasn't always kept wicket, but he's got a great arm on him. He's low to the ground. A useful member of this Kent squad.
Absolutely. I think now, especially we saw with Daniel Bell-Drummond being starved of the strike, probably got him out of rhythm a little bit. Probably in the next few overs look to rotate the strike and get the boundary in between, but perhaps just played around for a few more overs. And then get some momentum again.
Yep, so top over from Chris Jordan, showing all his experience, not getting too carried away with anything too funky. Just hitting a great area, hitting the pitch hard, bowling nice and straight. Picked up the big wicket at Daniel Bell-Drummond and conceded just 1 run from his opening over. So good start this from Surrey. 57 for 3, the Spitfires. Time for a scatter blast. Few T-shirts being thrown into the crowd. Decent crowd here. Not quite sure if it's quite a sellout. You always think Kent Surrey on a Friday night. Beautiful weather. It's going to attract a decent crowd in, and that is the case. Plenty to play for both sides here. As Kent and Surrey try and get into those knockout stages. Surrey also playing for a home quarter final. It'll be Tom Curran.
So we were at the Woolly stand. We were told that only 9 tickets were remaining, so it's as full a capacity as we can get.
Just 9 tickets remaining, crikey. So if you are listening to this stream coverage and you feel like coming down, there are 9 tickets remaining. So hurry up. Nicely angled away from Sam Billings. He's content to pick up the single, and this is where his experience is so crucial, isn't it, Billings? He's played all around the world. He's played in the IPL, the Big Bash, all the big T20 leagues. He's won things with the Spitfires, of course. In 2021, he's also won the 100 with the Oval Invincibles. He's about to go and captain the Trent Rockets. He's extremely experienced, so none of this will really faze him. He's been in good touch. He'll know what to do and how to try and pace this innings after the loss of these couple of quick wickets. Useful to have that kind of experience, Amy.
Oh, it is indeed, and we talk about our own players going abroad, playing in the IPL, playing in other tournaments, and you do gain experience, which is rare and which is important, and something they bring back, and it rubs off on the other guys as well.
Got to hurry here. Oh, Billings is lightning quick. Throw came in. He was comfortably home. We'll keep an eye on the game at Chelmsford between Hampshire and Essex as well. Just to tell you what's going on there, because it is Essex that Kent have to reel in, really. Remember this format with 3 groups this year. It's the best 2 from each group, plus the 2 best thirds, if that makes sense, to make up the 8 quarter-finalists. And I can tell you that James Vince, the leading run scorer in the history of T20 Blast, has been castled by Shane Snater. Not ideal news from a Kent perspective, because Vince so often holds the key to a big Hampshire score. So he's been knocked over in the second over. 7 balls bowled. Hampshire 2 for 1 at Chelmsford. So we'll keep you across that one. Most of our focus will be here. Kent and Surrey, the oldest rivalry. Your fondest memories of playing against Surrey? We had some tough games against them, but you must have knocked a few over.
Yeah, well, Surrey always being amongst the top teams, and they certainly have been in the last decade, especially. But yeah, I would say mixed memories. Always important games and tough opposition, but always. As a player, you want to show that you can do it against the best, and they were certainly the best in many occasions.
As you can see there, alongside myself, Dave Fulton, is Amjad Khan, former England, Denmark, and Kent fast bowler, who's talking about playing against Surrey a decade ago. I think it was probably largely a bit longer than that, because I've been retired 20 years, and as far as I remember, we played quite a few years together, Amjad. So, yeah, I remember 2002, I think, a horrible game here where we were bossing the game and they ended up getting over the line and chasing down 400 and odd. So there's been some painful memories and some good ones as well, as Chris Jordan starts another over. He's bowling to Kent's captain, Sam Billings, who looks frustrated with himself. He's got the whole of the leg side and he's just picked out Jason Roy at mid-wicket, no run.
Yeah, I do remember that game with Ian Ward getting an unbelievable 100 and getting him over the line on the last day, where we thought the game was done and dusted. But that's sorry for you, unfortunately.
A bit of an Amjad Khan love-in today. He just keeps walking past people, and Ben Trott is about 2 yards away from our commentary position. Another fine opening bowler for Kent. Would have played a lot with Amjad as this one. He's picked him out. Sam Billings just turns on his heels and has to go. He struck it well, but he's picked out mid-off. And Chris Jordan has another. He has got 2 wickets for just 1 run. And Billings, who's been in the very best of touch, he has had to go. So that is a big wicket. Kent struggling here. Must-win game, remember. I say must win. There are some permutations where Kent can win on Sunday, lose this one and still get up, but a lot's got to go their way. Really, it's win this one, win Sunday, and that should be enough. But Billings has gone.
It's a huge wicket.
Yeah, it's a huge wicket and a huge moment for this young man. Ekans Singh on T20 Blast debut. One of a number of very fine young Kent players on the books. He has impressed with the Lions and in his championship outings, and he's going to get a go in front of a 5,000 or so strong Kent crowd here. There'll be some nerves, but what an opportunity. 61 for 4. He walks to the crease with still more than half the innings remaining. Sometimes you come in batting at 6 at a T20 game, you maybe get 6 or 7 balls. He's got an opportunity to play an innings here, and Kent need one. And he's off and running against Singh. Nice punch off the back foot. Has to hurry. And he'll feel an awful lot better having got that one away.
I have to say, this is excellent bowling by Chris Jordan. Sam Billings was indicating that he was slanting it down the hill, but it wouldn't surprise me if Chris Jordan, even after 8-9 overs, is getting it to tail a little bit. He's the master of the reverse swinging ball. Which also explains why Billings was trying to give himself room to hike it over long off.
Nicely played by Finch, just showing the maker's name to the bowler and pushing it up the ground to long on. So partnership required. 2 new batters at the crease. Kent behind the 8 ball here. So 10 years or so since you've been back to the Spitfire, since you've been here at the Spitfire ground. Changed a bit.
It certainly has. It certainly has. I mean, there were certain changes when I was back here almost a decade ago, but it looked completely different, and now I must admit, much improved.
You made me chuckle when we were walking to hospitality. This one's defended by Ekans. There's no run. You said, is the slope still there? Is it the ground's changed a bit, but they haven't just levelled it up?
That slope was very important to me, Dave. Ergo the question.
Yeah, there's still one at Lord's as well. They haven't changed that one.
Happy they haven't dug it up.
So a noticeable drop in temperature. The heat has gone out of that sun a little bit as it gets lower behind the Frank Woolley stand. Much more pleasant evening now as Jordan's in again, and Ekans is clipping this away. Didn't time it. Jason Roy, the fielder. There's no run. Another decent over from Jordan. 2 for 3 of his couple of overs. That is high class indeed. Spitfires 63 for 4. With another couple of overs of Amjad. We'll get Cameron Emmanuel Burns back in situ in commentary. Some young fans enjoying their evening. So, yeah, decent crowd in here. Just a reminder that Sunday's last group match against Middlesex is a 2:30 start. And you just search Kent Cricket tickets and you will be able to get hold of some. That is not a sellout present. And got to win this one first. Yeah, tickets available for Sunday. Finch nudging this one for a single. And I think this will be a feature now. These two are quick between the wickets and rebuilding effort needed. I imagine 1s and 2s will be key, and with Surrey not offering too much in the way of 4 balls. You've just got to find a way of keeping the scoreboard ticking.
Yeah, you've got Akash obviously starting his career in this format against international bowlers, really. So yeah, I think 1s and 2s for at least 2 or 3 overs, and then look to go big at the end with some wickets in hand.
Well, struck into the ground, plucked by Tom Curran in his follow-through. Yeah, and there's still a bit of batting to come. Grant Stewart can hit a mighty long ball. You probably want him coming in with 4 or 5 overs to go. And you've got Tom Rogers, Jake Lintott, Matt Milnes. I'm not sure about Hassan Mahmood's batting. He's down at number 11, but can certainly bowl. Ken have got to give him something to bowl at as Ekansh hits this one attractively away, backward a square. To be the single. Topley, who's been in the game, kicked things off with a decent first over and then a brilliant catch to get rid of Tawanda Mayeye. If you haven't seen that one, it was a top edge off the bowling of Jordan Clark. It went miles in the air, and Reece Topley was at short third man, and he took it probably 5 yards in from the boundary, almost straight behind the keeper, running over his shoulder. High class work. That's nicely struck from Finch. And his 4. So just pick that one up. It was a pretty decent length. Let's see if he just shuffled across a little bit. Yeah, it was outside off stump. Not a lot wrong with the delivery, but Finch has made his mind up that if he gets the length, he's going to try and drop kick it into that mid-wicket pocket.
A much-needed boundary, and I think for the Kent bowlers who are looking at it, all they've done, the Surrey bowlers, have bowled back of the length straight, a hard length, and it's been difficult to get away.
Finch advances, flat bats this at mid-off.
We haven't seen too many slow balls. Yorkers mostly back of the length, we're also seeing the batters now trying to give themselves room to free their arms because Surrey are bowling that much straighter.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. On a quick surface, you can look to stay leg side of it, use the pace through the offside. But you're right, there hasn't been a lot of variation from the Surrey bowlers. They've decided that the best course of action is just to smash a length hard, as Curran is in here, and Ekansh Singh has driven that beautifully. That is a high-class shot. One of the shots of the innings so far. Just a little shuffle down, just opens the blade and eases it past mid off with beautiful timing. That is just a glimpse of what he's capable of. We'll just have another little look. Just gives himself a bit of room, but it was the swing really, just in to out, easing it past mid off. High class.
Yeah, as you said, a classy shot against an international bowler. But for someone who's just starting in this format, that will give him a lot of confidence that he can do that against a bowler of his caliber.
Well, what was nice, it was a proper cricket shot, wasn't it? You know, we sometimes think when you need a boundary, batters go into kind of heave mode and just swing across the line. That was the opposite of that. That was caressed.
Interesting thing now is, will they try to take Jordan down with the way he's bowling?
Well, they can try, but he's out the attack. Looks like it's back to Jordan Clark, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we'll save him for the death, which will also be a challenge, having to hit Jordan at the death.
Yeah. Chris Jordan bowls 2 in the middle, 2 at the death. Brilliant exponent of the Yorker. And Jordan Clark has been excellent. Quickly with the new ball and coming back in the middle to try and get another wicket. Hold on. What's happened here? I think he might be out. Is that the bail off?
Oh.
I think he trod on his stumps there, you know. I think he's out. I think Ekansh has shoveled that round the corner. They are going to have a debate about this, because as soon as it happened, I thought that's out. But no one quite knows what has happened. The umpires are going to have a chat here. Where's VAR when we need it? But we'll have a little look at the replay here. Our director Matt will just have a little look as we see Jordan Clark coming in. We need obviously at some stage to focus on the other end, but as this ball comes down, he kind of slipped back and he trod on his leg stump.
Yes.
I mean, that is out, and I can't believe there was too much confusion about that. But suddenly, when you're not looking and you're not expecting that, everyone's watching the ball, and people are like, well, what's happened there? Well, he has back foot. He's just gone to turn it off his hip, and his back leg has basically demolished leg stump. So that is a very sad ending, actually, because Ekant Singh's been in good touch, and he had that beautiful cover drive, off drive for 4, and then just stood on his leg stump. So I wouldn't have thought he would have got out like that before, or certainly not on too many occasions. You don't see that every day. Hit wicket, and he has to go 75 for 5.
Yeah, normally when these things happen, you just end up flicking the wicket, but here he absolutely treaded on the stumps. As you said, Dave, a shame because he was looking good.
Yeah, well, it's not the debut you would have dreamed of, is it? Maybe the 61 for 4 bit, and you come in and you smoke a little 60 not out. And I'm sure he will do that many times in his Kent career. He's going to be a good player, Ekant Singh. He's already a good player. But big crowd, Friday night, must-win game, all set up. Play a beautiful shot the over before, and then your foot slips and you make contact with your leg peg. Very unlucky. So Clark in again. This one is forced off the back foot by Stewart, who can club a ball, and he's going to get 2 here. So we'll have to say goodbye to Amjad at the end of this over. He'll head back to hospitality. We'll get Cameron back on commentary, but mate, it's been good to have you with us. Thanks for coming down.
Oh, thanks for having me. Really enjoyed it. Really good to be back here after so long. Just want Kent to get over the line.
Oh no, he's picked him out. So Stewart goes. So if Kent had to get over the line, someone's got to play an innings of substance. And Grant Stewart, forcing shot for 2, and then just a bit of a soft one, flicked it to mid-wicket, and he has to turn and go. So we've seen a couple. We've seen Sam Billings, who actually hit it pretty firmly, picked out mid-off. Stewart picks out mid-wicket. I think it's a pretty decent surface. I could be wrong, but that is another disappointing dismissal. Don't mind that one as a bowler, do you? It's a bit of a gift.
Oh, that is a little bit of a gift. And still with 8 overs remaining, I think the batters need to give bowlers something to bowl at, especially with the Hassan Mahmood on your side. On a wicket with a bit of pace, you never know, but we need to give the bowlers something to bowl at here.
Yeah, so Tom Rogers to the crease. He's one of those bowlers, but more than handy batter, left-handed as well, so that might give the Surrey bowlers something else to think about. Nice to have that option in the middle. He's got the best part of 8 overs, 8 and a bit overs to bat, so opportunity here for Rogers to play an innings, but it feels like we've said that about the last few batters who've come and gone. Slowly behind that one, but once again another Surrey dot ball. So we talked about the bowling changes. You know, Chris Jordan 2 for 3, and then back comes Jordan Clark. I said, you know, maybe finish off, try and get a wicket. Well, he's got 2 in this over. 1 in fortuitous fashion with Ekant Singh stepping on his leg stump, and then Stewart picking out mid-wicket.
Good looking shot. Yeah, with losing wickets like this, you get into that position where you don't know if you keep going, if you keep being positive, you start taking 1s and 2s, but which would mean you wouldn't get up to the score that you want, so 150 plus. And unfortunately, we've just ended up losing more and more wickets in that frustration.
Yeah, well, when you first came on commentary, you asked me what you thought was a good score, and I said, well, it looks like a decent surface, just from the way they've gone about it with a bit of pace. I was looking at 180. Well, Kent are looking a long way off that. They probably snap your hand off for 140 as things stand. So, yeah, got a bit of work to do here. Someone's got to do something pretty special, remembering that this is an important game for Kent. We're going to say goodbye to Amjad Khan. Thank him for coming back down to Canterbury. He's been in Denmark all week working, and he comes down, plays a bit of club cricket over here on a Saturday. So the much travelled. It's good to have him with us.
Thanks for having me, Dave. Thank you.
Right, so Amy will make way, and Cameron will jump back in. A nice time for Dan Lawrence to come back into the attack. Suddenly 6 wickets down, and and having to rebuild. Left-hander as well on strike.
I leave you for, what, 6 overs, Mr. Fulton? What's going on?
Yeah, sorry, mate. I think you just saw the 1 wicket, didn't you?
Yep.
Amjad Khan, that's what happens when you get a big fast bowler on
That's
comms. You suddenly fifer, bang, gone. He's not here now, we can blame him.
That's all right.
Amjad's fault.
So what do you think? What are you putting this down to?
Well, it's T20 cricket, isn't it? I mean, we've got players in decent touch. I mean, you know, well, Sam Billings has played in this competition. He's hit that pretty well. He's just picked out mid-off and has to go. And sometimes when one goes, a few go. So Rogers forces this one away off the back foot. They'll think about 2. I don't think they're going to get it. Harry Finch had to wait for the ball to get past extra cover. But, you know, Ekans Singh, beautiful shot the over before, and then a kind of freakish dismissal where his foot slides as he flicks it around the corner and stands on leg stump.
Yeah.
It's just for a moment there, I thought he was going to get away with that. We watched it on replay. He demolished the leg stump, but no one saw it, and the umpires were chatting. No one saw it. And we thought, well, what's happened there? But I mean, that would have been fantastic if he got away with that one.
Well, with Rogers out here, I'm just happy to see a left-hander for once. It's a rarity in these parts for us to see left-handed batsman.
Well, it is, isn't it? When you think of some of those other sides, is it Sussex who have all
Sussex,
the lefties?
yeah.
They've got about 6 of their top 7 who come out as.
I'm looking at Surrey. I don't think they've got any. Oh,
Gone. So the curse of the commentator. Just nice to see a left-hander. This is Cameron Emmanuel Burns, who is claiming to be faultless in the dismissals of the Kent batter. Absolutely culpable there as Tom Rogers chops it onto his stumps. That one perhaps stayed a little bit low, and maybe this surface is not quite as good as I first imagined. Certainly the score would suggest that to be the case. Let's have another little look at this as Dan Lawrence comes in with that kind of quirky jump and flick of the wrists, and yeah, maybe stayed down a bit. But Rogers bottom edging it. Maybe it wasn't there to cut. It's 82 for 7. Kent in all sorts of bother.
no comment. Well, okay, let's find some positives. Finch, best innings so far of the season against this opposition, 64. Slightly different scenario.
Was this the game at the Oval?
At the Oval.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I was going to say, I thought you were saying his 14 off 14 was his best.
No. Well,
I mean, today it's a decent effort, but yeah, I know what you're saying. So sometimes you go well against a
certain
good opposition.
And he'll be facing up to Tom Laws, who mentioned earlier, a little bit of coaching with, and who England are looking at, and that's Finch's next opponent here.
Yeah, well, nice time to bowl from Tom Laws.
Yeah.
Probably would have liked to have been in on the action a little bit earlier. At 82 for 7. It's a shame this really, because it's an important game in the context of trying to qualify for the knockout stages. But you look around the ground, it's Friday night, it's against the old enemy, packed out ground, lovely temperature now. This is as good as it gets. This one's wide down the leg side. I'll have to bowl that one again. As good as it gets from a player's perspective, and Ken will know that. And they'll know that they shouldn't really be 83 for 7. It happens. If you think about the reverse fixture, Kent knocked Surrey over, what, 118, something like that?
Yeah.
That felt like a good toss to win on a surface that did quite a bit early on. This one, I think you'd struggle to just blame the surface. Not often in a game of T20 cricket does a surface determine the result of a game, and obviously we haven't seen Surrey bat yet, and Kent might go through them like a knife through butter. We don't know, but you'd say at the moment Kent they're way behind this game.
Oh, nicely. Just for one. And if you're Finch now, I assume it is just about accumulating for as long as possible and hoping that Jake Lintott, who can hold the bat, we've seen that he got us close against Essex, I believe, at Chelmsford, stays with him for a while.
See you threw that ball in, didn't you? Jason Roy from deep mid-wicket in the late afternoon sunshine, shades of the World Cup final, barest of margins.
Happier times. Oh, beautiful.
Beautifully understated, Cameron Emmanuel Burns. Happier times, pre-COVID. The world was a good place. England were world champions in that instance.
And Kent weren't 86 for 7.
No. Joe Denley playing Ashes cricket, 2019.
Yeah.
And
was it at Old Trafford? That innings of his is 80. Was it
yeah,
90?
He got 90 odd at the Oval.
Good to see Jason Roy. Well, yes, no, good to see Jason Roy obviously doing so well this entire season. It seemed for a time that perhaps he was on the circuit a bit more and perhaps being.
Well, he's been on the circuit, been on the T20 circuit. I did an event with him at the Test match. He did a bit of hospitality, and he was coming back from Belgium and playing in a Belgium T20 league. As this one's turned away for just a single down a fine leg. Yeah, so he's really been on that T20 kind of circuit, and he was very honest about it, actually. He said, look, I'm a professional cricketer, I've got to earn my money and I'm getting well paid to be out there. He said, but there's also an onus on growing the game, and that's what he liked. You know, you go to Belgium and you play in a league. I think Faf du Plessis was out there and involved a bit in the competition. There were some good calibre of T20 players out, some of the world's best, playing in that tournament, trying to grow the game in a different part of the world. And he said it's important that he performs well and takes it seriously and trains properly, because you want to give a good account of yourself. You're a professional, you're trying to sell the game to a different audience. So I thought he spoke really well, actually. He's a nice fella, and you think where he was in 2019, winning the World Cup, throwing that ball in from the outfield in the Super Over. He's a World Cup winner, and in that moment, and I always say to kids, training and practicing, that is why you practice and practice and practice, because one day it could be that throw to win a World Cup. And it certainly was. As Jordan back into the attack, and this one is a play and a miss from Lintott. Yeah, so good to see Jason Roy back doing what he does. Maybe not this afternoon, but good to see him doing it against the Sharks.
I think my favourite innings from that World Cup campaign, barring Stokes innings in the final, was Roy against Australia.
In the semi-final,
yeah,
smashed him. It's been high class from Jordan, isn't it? It's just so many bowlers these days, and cricketers complicate the game, and he's got all the skills, the slower balls, the Yorkers, but he's just recognised on this surface, this stage of the game, just run in, bowl straight, middle and off stump, good length, hit the pitch hard. And he's just doing it over and over and over again.
Well, you mentioned at the beginning of the game that a new way of using him for Surrey, those 2 overs outside of the power play. Obviously this game and scenario we find ourselves in is played into his hands, but you can see how it suits him pretty nicely down to the ground, where you say you can just hone in on the length, still sharp, build those dots, build that pressure, and then later on in the game I'm sure he'll be, if it gets there, he'll be throwing in those Yorkers as he's done so successfully over the years.
They've just got so many options, Surrey, haven't they? I mean, they're probably a bit light on spin, that's all you would say, if you've got a kind of slow, low turner.
If you think that goes back to, I think Cam Steele was almost their lone spinner in the Championship a while back. He's now retired, and famously they're now going in with no spin in the Oval and so on. So maybe, I'm trying to think, who is Surrey spinner?
Yeah, not sure, but if you think back to, say, the game where Kent were skittled at, was it Worcestershire? Looked like the wicket really was tired and ragged. If you played on that kind of surface, this is maybe not the attack for that particular surface. A couple of spinners of Worcestershire to victory on that occasion. And that's the other thing I like, is that aggression from that length from Jordan. He's bowling at a tail ender. You're right, Lintott can bat. But what a tail ender wants is someone to pitch the ball up, throw it up there in your hitting arc. If you're trying to bowl a Yorker at a tail ender and you don't get it right, and actually turns into a long half volley, which is exactly what they want. What they don't want is a ball that's above the waist, coming at 87 miles an hour into their rib cage.
Playing a miss there.
So that ends Chris Jordan's over. He has 2 for 5 off 3. That is mighty impressive. So Kent faithful still enjoying themselves. The ice creams are doing a roaring trade in the last couple of weeks. That's a pretty decent view. That's where you want your studio, Cam, isn't it? Top floor?
Yeah, I want penthouse, please, next year. Hopefully Mr. Media Manager Liam's listening. Penthouse, please.
Just be nice to be asked back. That's what I always say. Nice to get the gig, even if they do, shine the sun in our eyes. But enough of that. Yeah. Floodlights are on. Not really needed at the moment. They will come into increasing effect as that sun dips. Just wonder tonight whether we could get a little sun-stop play. It just feels like it's going to drop behind the bowler's arm at one stage. Here's Topley. Punched off the back foot by Finch, who's doing a decent job of trying to rebuild things here. Just needs a bit of support from Lintott, and then a good last 2 or 3 overs trying to get up to 130. He'd probably take 10 and over 130. He'd take it.
I think he certainly would at this stage. No Freddie Clarkson in this team to accelerate us home. Matt Mills can hold the bat though. He's done well in the championship this year.
Pulling his Lintott. I think it might be a wide down the leg side. That one did die a little bit, so maybe his pitch not quite as quick as I thought. It might just be the new ball. Rock hard new ball seemed to fly through, but since then 1 or 2. We saw Tom Rogers chop onto his stumps, which is a bit of an indication that the pace, bit of life might have gone out the pitch, or might have got a bit softer. Chance. Oh, we get 4 here. Mid on in the circle. Outstretched right hand. Laurie Evans couldn't quite reel it in.
Precisely what you mentioned last over there, Mr. Fulton. Lintott much rather it in his half and full enough for him to get his hands through.
Yeah, that's what the lower order batters kind of want, an opportunity. He can strike a good ball, Lintott. Better off kind of digging it in back of a length, as he has on this occasion. And well, it's a dot after all that. It was there was a lot happening. It was a good take by Ollie Pope, because he was dancing around Lintott in front of him. Thought for a second there he might have got something on it and he might be out, but not a bad option with the slope, albeit fine leg is back.
Fine and third back, yes.
So you've got to get that almost over the keeper, or certainly very fine to get a boundary. Just a right of screen on the boundary there is a fine leg. Oh, that's a good looking shot. Don't think it's going to go all the way. One bounce and over the rope. So very much in the slot, but that is a high quality stroke from Jake Lintott. When it's up there, he can hit it with the best of them.
I wouldn't look out of place. Zach Crawley playing a shot like that. He's given himself a bit of room. Seeing the replay there. Onto leg. And that beautifully down the ground. Even the quick Jordan can't catch up with that one.
Oh. Out. Out, dropped.
No,
or out. It's just because Lintott took off then for a second. I think he was running, but yeah, they're claiming the catch down at third man. Lintott just looking at the umpires. He's just checking that carried Jordan Clark, and it would be a painful one because he was right down on the nets, on the practice surfaces down there, and he dived forwards, and that would probably graze the elbows up a little bit. But Lintott, after that beautiful shot down the ground, Topley adjusts his length, slaps it in, not halfway down, but hit the pitch hard and then top edged a cut shot, and Jordan Clark did the rest. So Kent lose another one. It is 8 down. Lintop goes for 12. Second look at this here. Just gave himself a bit of room. Didn't look like he picked it up that quickly, Jordan Clark. You can see there, right in the footholes of the wicket ends, just checking his elbows out. I think he's okay. Good catch in the end. Surrey's out cricket has been good. The bowling has been excellent. And that's why Kent find themselves 98 for 8. Here comes Matt Milnes.
Well, okay, with the bat here, but Matt Milnes has been a real success story for Kent across both formats coming back this year from Yorkshire. He's our top wicket taker in the Blast this year with 14, and has been handy with the bat with the red ball, but you really feel he has to support Finch here now. At least the next couple overs, rotate the strike, allow Finch to be more of the aggressor, as we are running out of wickets. And I'm not quite sure about Mahmood's
Hassan Mahmood, the last man. Not sure how he bats. Haven't seen much of him. A lot to get excited about with ball in hand. Abbott back into the attack, and Finch hits this one to extra cover, and he'll get a single. Yeah, difficult to know here if you're Harry Finch whether you stick or twist, or you just trying to knock it around with Matt Milnes. Maybe for 2 overs, you try and take the last 12 balls down. The problem is, with, like you say, when you're 8 down, it's when do you look to explode into action? I think it's probably not quite yet.
I think you can trust Milnes as well to get in line and rotate the strike until, as you say, maybe the 18th over.
Oh no!
No way.
You are absolutely kidding me. Harry Finch has to go, and that rather sums up Kent's luck. Ekant Singh treading on his stumps. Harry Finch run out, backing up. I think it was a chance of a caught and bowled. It was a full toss. It was pretty ugly cricket, in truth. Full toss. Matt Milnes chipped it back, and Sean Abbott, outstretched right hand, could only knock it onto the stumps. Have another look at this. Full toss, chip back. Is it a catch? No, it's not. Finch has to go. Cannot believe it, Harry Finch. We're just talking about when does he look to put the hammer down, and when does he continue to keep knocking it around? Well, it has been cruelly taken out of his hands. 99 for 9.
Well, that sums up the day for Kent, really. No more unfortunate way to get out as a batter, and especially in this circumstance when he was the lone recognised batsman left. Well, onus now turns to Matt Milnes. Try it again.
Tried it again, yeah. That was, I'm not sure if that was a catching opportunity for Abbott. But there is the biggest round of applause of the day, slightly ironic in nature. The Spitfires have 100. There you go, Hassan Mahmood just open the blade and chip it over extra. Matt Milnes doesn't want him coming back for 2. I'll take it from here, young man. That was a very accomplished stroke. Hitting with the slope, a little bit of room. This could be out. Is he going to land in the gap? Oh, it's beautifully judged from Milnes. It went high. Oh no, Mahmood. What is going on? An absolute comedy out there. We've seen the scoop from Milnes, which went as high as the floodlights and managed to land in between a retreating Ollie Pope and an incoming Reece Topley. Sideways moving Jordan Clark, and then there was nearly a run out. So the upshot is That's a single. To
Single.
Matt Mills. He could have got the single in so many different ways.
Not as entertaining, mind you.
No, that was quite entertaining. And I've got a feeling this could be quite entertaining as well, because Hassan Mahmoud looks like he wants to enjoy himself. Well, he will be enjoying himself, not with bat in hand anymore, hopefully with the ball, but Kent have been bowled out in slightly sorry fashion, in truth. 102 all out. We'll just run you through the scorecard in just a second, but it does not make pretty reading. Zach Crawley played pretty nicely, but a lot of batsmen came and went all too quickly. 102 all out with 3 overs remaining of that innings. I mean, the pitch to me looks pretty blameless, Cam, but when you get bowled out for 102, you hope that there's plenty in it, and I didn't get that impression watching, albeit we are at an angle and 100 yards away.
Yeah, it does seem different from the pitch when we played Worcestershire, to be quite frank. There was a lot of, but there was unfortunate dismissals. How many times I can think stepping onto your own stumps, run out the non-strikers end. There was but there was also a lot of avoidable dismissals out there today. I think you summed it up. A pretty sorry innings out from Kent, and they're going to have to pull something out of the fire here if they're going to make this one difficult for Surrey.
Side, they've got lots of international bowlers at their disposal, and their out cricket was exceptional. Tawanda Miyeye brilliantly caught by Reece Topley off the bowling of Jordan Clark, running back from a short third man to almost the boundary directly behind the bowler. So Miyeye went for 5. Daniel Bill-Drummond never really got going. 17 off 16. He pulled a ball straight down Tom Laws is thrown off the bowling of Chris Jordan. Before that, Zach Crawley, he was the second man out. He played nicely for 31. He was the one that really looked like he was in fluent touch. 31 off 19, 4 fours and a 6. He tried a big slog sweep at Dan Lawrence, picked out Laurie Evans at deep mid-wicket. Bit of a top edge there. Sam Billings, who's been in great form, nailed one, but straight at mid-off. Tom Curran taking the catch off. Chris Jordan, Ekant Singh, as Cameron just mentioned, hit a beautiful off drive for 4, and the very next ball he faced, he stood on his leg stump, which he wouldn't have done too often. Grant Stewart tamely chipped one to mid-wicket for 2. Tom Rogers chopped onto his stumps for 2. Lintop made 12. Harry Finch run out, backing up for 18, and Hassan Mahmoud chipping one to extra cover for 1. 102 all out. Bowling figures, as you'd imagine with a total like that, fantastic. 3 for 26 from Jordan Clark, 1 for 24 off 3 from Reece Topley. The standout, Chris Jordan, 3 overs, 2 wickets for 5, a couple of wickets for Dan Lawrence, and Tom Curran and Tom Laws wicketless. Sean Abbott picking up the last one. So 102, 103 required for Surrey when we return. If they do that, they will be in the knockout stages and with a very good chance of a home quarter final. 103 Surrey will require when we return in about 10 minutes time. So welcome back to live stream coverage of Kent Spitfires against Surrey. Business end of the group stage of the Blast. Kent have it all to do. Bowled out for 102 inside 17 overs. They got Jason Roy and Laurie Evans coming at them. This power play is going to be key. Hassan Mahmood, you feel, has got to take early wickets. Zach Crawley is in at slip. And Sam Billings will pull the strings as best as he can. But they're going to need something pretty spectacular. If Kent pull this off, be talking about it for years to come.
Well, this is the battle I was really looking forward to. Mahmood versus Roy.
So here is the Bangladeshi quick bowler. And Jason Roy just calmly knocks it back down the pitch. And it's the problem with only 102 on the board, is that Surrey don't have to take any risks. They can see off a bowler or pat back the good one. Fine leg and third man. The two fielders outside the inner ring. Packed offside ring. And slip in place. Hassan Mahmood has impressed everyone his short time here at Kent. Wickets in the Championship. Oh, well, it could have been a wicket there. A bit of pace and bounce. Took the shoulder of the bat. Flew very quickly down to third man for a single. Just feel it could be the kind of... He really gets it going where you might have to go 2 or 3 slips here. You know, defending 102. Not, it might have gone over, wickets, yeah. Over third slip that, but it was about third slip line.
Yeah, I think that might have gone over. That's bounced after the 30 yards there.
Yeah, I think it flew off the shoulder of the bat. Run down to third man as well. Slightly subdued crowd. Very partisan bunch down here at Kent, which is lovely when you're going well. But when you get pulled out for 102, it's just a murmur.
Probably has gone wider.
And this could be a boundary. It's racing up the hill towards the Les Ames boundary, and it just beats Tawanda Mieye chasing it up there. So it's got the offside field. Jason Roy just getting his head offside of that one. I think it might have just drifted onto the pads. Have another little look at it. Yeah, it was just a fraction too straight. Wasn't a terrible ball. Roy good enough to tuck it away.
Seen that shot a number of times. He seems to play it so square, his hands, Roy. Through that leg side. But you're getting your wish. That's another man slightly in the cordon.
Yeah, he's quite close there, Harry Finch, at like a full slip. You'll see him here. He's Crawley, and he's a bit wider. Down the leg side. You're wide. You see those two men there? That's Harry Finch, number 72 on his back. So Sam Billings asking his men to spread out there, trying to cover as much ground as possible. You do have to guess to a certain extent, the ball flying in that. It's not a conventional slip cordon.
What position
trying
is Zach?
To make yourself. It's,
Zach
is, yeah, Zach's kind of maybe a 2 and a bit, yeah, and then you've got like a 4 and a bit. Jason Roy saying something a bit vicious, but didn't time it. So yeah, you're always guessing a little bit when you spread your slips out like that. You know, sod's law, the ball flies between keeper and slip, or between the two of them. There is Tom Rogers almost directly behind Harry Finch, kind of hedging his bets a bit, maybe just on his left shoulder.
Perhaps the Finch position at least puts a question in the batsman's mind whether just to run it down third man though. Take that easy option. Oh,
That's a brilliant stop at extra cover, half stop. Saved 3. That was destined before the fence. Was it Lintott or was it Ekanch?
Hard to tell from
I think it was Ekanch. I think he's got 5 on his back. I think Lintott's got 32 on his back, so yeah, Ekanch Singh, I think. Brilliant bit of work. So Matt Milnes from the Nackington Road end. Cameron was saying how well he's gone in this competition. How many wickets? Was it 14?
14, yeah.
We need about another 6 right now.
Yep. Tidy. If you're Kent here, you must be targeting 3 wickets in this power play. Stand really any chance here. I mentioned before, Surrey bat incredibly deep as well, so that even more importance for early breakthroughs. That Milnes in. It's the wrong line. Come off the 5 pad there, Jason Roy.
Yeah, it's tricky because you saw that ball from Hassan Mahmood fly off the shoulder of the bat. The temptation is to want to get 2 or 3 slips in because you need to make something happen, but you also have to maintain your patience. I'm kind of contradicting myself from earlier, but if you go chasing wickets, they can get away from you very quickly.
Tucking Roy up there. I think we have seen though today there is a length on this wicket. It's not the easiest, just seems just a touch further at the back of the length, and especially from this end we saw certainly a few from Clark to begin with go through nicely in the power play with that harder ball. The importance of finding the right length and line from Matt Milnes here. An easy single taken in the end.
Yeah, the difference is when you're chasing a small target as opposed to setting, you think Kent would have come out, they've seen the ball whistle through, they're probably thinking, we need to get 170, 180.
Yeah.
And therefore you take on those pull shots from back of a length and hole out to deep square, or in the case of Tawanda Maye, top edge one straight up in the air for Reece Topley to run back and take a great catch. When Surrey know that back of a length, if it's tricky, they can just do what they did then, drop a bat on it, take the 1. Keep an eye on that game at Chelmsford, Essex, Hampshire, because even with defeat tonight, Kent still a mathematical chance.
A bit of half appeal, but well, allowed a 1 from the gentleman in front of us. Optimistic to say the least. And perhaps not quite the right line. Hence the second over. Surrey 13 for none, of course. Required rate is pretty nicely, just the 5.
Too much about that required run rate. I think Kent going to win this. They've got to bowl out Surrey, which is exactly what Essex have done at Chelmsford. They have bowled Hampshire out. Hampshire Hawks for 130, which you think at Chelmsford is possibly even easier than getting 103 at Canterbury. Of course, we haven't seen what that surface is like, but that is bad news, you'd imagine, from that Spitfire perspective. Tom Rogers into the attack, and Jason Roy trying to whip that over square leg.
Yeah, it's not the best couple hours if you're a Kent fan. with that news. Hampshire, who are of course top of the league, who beat us in the previous fixture. Not going so well at Charlton, as you say. We don't know what the wicket's like, but they'd fancy with those small boundaries out there.
To wide.
Opportunity here for Rogers, though. It's been a bit of a bit part season for him, obviously out with injury and a bit of tap in the first couple of games. It'd be nice for him, the Aussie overseas, to get us a few here and get us into this contest.
Just a reminder of the points table. Hampshire 28 points, Surrey 24. If they win this, they'll go level with Hampshire should Hampshire lose that game. Essex on 20. That is big from Jason Roy. He has launched that and dropped in the crowd. Someone, big jump trying to get that one hand. It would have been a hell of a crowd catch. It's just a smear, a little bit across the line. That's what I mean about this pitch being decent. You can't hit shots like that if it's not pretty true. It is,
Evans just walking into
Evans
the line, yeah.
Heaved. Yeah, apologies. Laurie Evans getting in on the act. There's 10 and 20 on their backs. I saw the 0 and not the wrong man. So yeah, he's a dangerous customer as well. Laurie Evans, he won't hang about. Oh my goodness me, he's gone again. Well, that's even better. That is even better from Laurie Evans. He has hit that in the gap between the Frank Woolley and the Colin Cowdrey. Dispatched. Made a lovely sound, as you might be able to hear on the stream coverage, and almost into the bins.
Well, Evans must be relishing this, of course, without the likes of Jacks here. He's got promotion to be able to bat in the power play, normally coming in at 5-6 and giving him a bit of a biff at the end, and now he's got the opportunity with the field up. He's going to take full toll.
Got to go again. It's going to be a wide, and they're going to get a couple. I think Evans pretty keen to get back on strike.
Good hand from the skipper there. Billings with the gloves. That was destined to race away without his intervention.
Again, it's Evans. Is Zach Crawley back there on that deep square leg boundary?
Taken in the crowd.
Taken in the crowd and celebrating in style. That's got the biggest cheer of the evening. I thought just for a second he got underneath it and Zach Crawley was interested, but that gentleman probably a good 10, 12 rows back on the bank. Nice to be on the bank, isn't it? You can move. If you're in your seats, you can't really move to catch that, but that is a good effort. I wonder what he's doing Saturday. Evans just having a bit of a whoopsie at everything now. That wasn't the ball to go. Trying to finish this in a hurry. Of course, home quarter-final, they'll be eyeing up. It might come down to net run rate. You wouldn't have thought so.
On the flip side for us, net run rate would be obviously dependent on the result at Chelmsford, but you don't want it to be damaged too badly here, which is looking the case.
Yeah, it was a slower ball from Rogers. It was quite nicely bowled, but it was like Evans was waiting for it, and he has hit another 6. So what an over for Surrey. Laurie Evans has launched 4 sixes, and Tom Rogers' opening over has gone for 28.
Certainly the cleanest hitting we've seen tonight off the blade of Laurie Evans. Yeah, certainly showing there's no real demons in this wicket.
Yeah, 1 or 2 fans shaking their head. don't quite believe what they're seeing here. Would have come into this ground with high hopes, and those hopes have been dismantled pretty quickly here. 42 without loss after 3, chasing 103 for victory.
That's Mahmood back into the attack, this time from Nacton Road end. Interesting to see what he can do. Obviously the slope coming in to the right-handers. Oh, almost through the defence of Roy there. Inside edge, and he pick up a single. I kind of feel give him a couple here. He's looked the most likely.
Yeah, I agree. High-class operator Hassan Mahmood. Can't have liked what they've seen. We will see him in subsequent years. Required rate 3.6. Don't see that too often so early in a T20 Blast chase.
I feel even I could keep up with that on a Saturday.
Let's not get carried away.
Oh, there we go. A moment saver for the crowd. Off stump, rock back. Hassan Mahmood gets his first in front of the Spitfires crowd here in the Blast, and that is Evans gone for 25.
Underrated delivery, the Yorker. He is slippery, fires that one in. Bit of an effort ball, got it right in the block hole. Furniture rearranged. Laurie Evans' cameo comes to an end. He's played a decent hand, just 9 balls faced, but 25 runs. But Mahmood, that is a crackerjack Yorker. 9 more of those, please.
Giving these fans a bit of a taster, as you say, will come and final game on Sunday, and then of course he will be sticking around with us the final stint in the championship. I wonder if is he around from the Metro Bank? Do we know? Maybe we'll have to see with the powers that be, but it's certainly a draw. Speaking to the media man, he was saying that our followership around the world has gone up exponentially with Mahmood, so welcome to all of those viewers who I'm sure on stream here as he comes in. Josh Philippe gets off the mark. Josh Philippe, who comes with great pedigree, but mainly in his time, of course, in his native Australia and the Bash, playing for Sydney Sixers and a few games white ball side for Australia, but there was a time where he was seen as the heir apparent with the gloves for Australia. Now here plying his trade for Surrey. Oh, that's a glorious shot. Jason Roy, part of his 7th T20 the other night, and he has just beautifully placed Mahmood over mid-on Z, 1 bounce 4. It's a classy shot.
Yeah, that's as good as it gets from Jason Roy. Compare the kind of the swings of Laurie Evans. That was belligerent stuff to Tom Rogers, but they were kind of smashed across the line. That is a checked on drive, lofted on drive of the highest caliber.
Oh, chance. Back quickly in. Low to his left, move there.
It's going to sting, that one. Half chance at best. I mean, it was kind of in the slot, and Jason Roy nailed it back at him. Get a second look at it on replay in just a second, but you need things like that to stick. You have to defend 102.
Giving himself room, and has slapped that ferociously, taking out some of the crowd there in front of the flats. 1 bounce 4. Yeah, watch out if you're in the crowd. That is Surrey's 50 up.
50 up in double quick time, 4 overs. They are not messing around here, Surrey. Big wicket of Laurie Evans, but Jason Roy's riposte was back over your head, young man, for 4, and he nailed that pull shot. Yes,
after Rogers tough. However, before it looks like it will be Matt Milnes to come on the pavilion end.
Change of ends for Matt Milnes. Just wondering here whether the pace Surrey are going at could save a bit of money on the floodlights, turn the lecky off.
Yeah.
I think could be done and dusted before the light goes. 3 more runs here for Philippines. Time that one away. Crawley will reel it in. 2 more to the total.
I guess if you're Surrey as well, you're keeping an eye on that Hampshire-Essex game. You're aware that it's looking likely that Essex may come away with the full points there as well, which bonus of getting a good result here, even more so for them, and chasing down Hampshire as well to try and guarantee that top spot.
Well, I imagine the home quarter finalists are the 3 group winners plus the best second.
So, yeah.
And I think is it the North group or the West group? I think it's the West group where there's actually some high points for the second place at the moment. So Surrey's best chance of that home quarter final is probably
coming in first.
Yeah, to reel in Hampshire, which they may just do. That was nicely bowled for Matt Milnes, completely flummoxed Jason Roy on that occasion. Slower ball bouncer. Good to see those skills being used. We talked about how Surrey just thumped a good length. Do you feel that Ken have got to try and make something happen here? That was a clever bit of bowling.
Well, the majority of the Kent bowlers don't quite have the pace of the Surrey attack, so a bit more onus on the change-ups, trying to deceive the batters here. It was a good one. Oh.
Yeah, that's going to be too high, I think. Just, signalling wide. That one did skip through. Matt Milnes must have heard you about the lack of pace between the 2 attacks. He bent his back there and it flew through. Things like that just not quite going Kent's way. Full stroke lofted by Jason Roy off the outside half of the bat. And Kent Singh diving forwards at extra cover. Did well to stop it, but things like that were just chipping in the air when Kent were batting and going to hand.
Yes, you think about the drop chance of Mahmood and the over prior and previously and that there. But as we just mentioned, Mahmood to continue to finish off the power play here. Continuing the Acton Road end. What is the rules about the sun behind the bowler's arms here? Is it just case by case if umpires deem it? Well, it doesn't matter from this end, of course. Mahmood back in, sliced away, and that's a lovely shot from Roy, using the pace, opening the face of the bat, racing away to the boundary.
Well, I'm hoping our director Matt is going to give us a replay of this delivery, because it was an extraordinary shot. Gave himself room and then kind of almost undersliced it. Just used the pace, as you say. It was like a drive, but with a bit of frying pan action in there as well. Extraordinary shot from Jason Roy, showing all his skills. The World Cup winner.
hand on it there. It's Rogers at short third. Yeah, the sun's pretty bright now. Hooked away just on the single out here. So Lintop patrolling the boundary. It's pretty bright for us in the comms box. Do they stop play for that?
Stop play because we can't see.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, it looks pretty straight. Is all I would say, and I think looking at the direction of the shadows, and I'm looking at Matt Milnes, who's at mid-on, who's covering his eyes. I think he's got the sunglasses on the back of his cap.
Yeah, not much
use there.
Yeah.
But perhaps it's not quite bright enough to have the glasses on, but the sun's ironically straight in his eyes.
Hooked away, Philippe. Again, protection out, leg side boundary.
Well, you wouldn't want to take any chances as a batter if you can't see the ball properly because of the sun, but Surrey are also doing this at a canter. Probably want to hit the road and get home, I would think, with possibly even top spot beckoning. But yeah, that's Matt Milnes there, as you can see, as a cameraman pulls away, hopefully to show the sun, which is appearing behind the pavilion there. It is pretty bright.
Use of the feet. I think that one will... No, well round by Lintop. They scamper back for two. Philippe gets back comfortably.
Well, they're seeing it pretty well from this end, aren't they? Hassan Mahmood's work up ahead of steam, but they're pulling him comfortably. So another decent over for Surrey. 10 off it already with one ball remaining. It's when the batters get to the Nackington Road end facing the bowling from the pavilion, it'll be interesting to see.
Final ball of power play has been beautifully, it's all the way from Roy. He is in some touch, gracefully drilled, lofted down the ground. 6 runs to finish the power play, 73 for 1.
Well, let's have a look at this on replay. I mean, this is as good as it gets. It is a check drive, hold the pose, and enough club to get it all the way over the rope. Beautiful shot from Jason Roy, high class indeed.
Yeah, he's been good value, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's in good touch, like you say. Not the kind of player who's going to get 100 one day and then take his foot off the gas and pat himself on the back for it. He's going to make use of that form. He's had a tough run of things in the last couple of years, Jason Roy. So when you suddenly find that rare touch, try and make the most of it, and he's experienced enough to do that. So Lintop into the attack. Might try and get a few up above the eye line here. Chuck a few in the sun. I'd be tempted to come around the wicket. I think that's the angle the sun's at.
I know a few bowlers who'd be eager to get on here. A few moon balls.
Let's see what he does. Yeah, tosses that one up and he misses it. So I don't know if the sun is in his eyes, but maybe a bit of spin as well. Philippe trying just to ease that one down the ground. Misses. Yeah, we have a sun in the same direction at Whitstable, and it can be tricky. I've known 1 or 2 bowlers throw it up. Tucks this away. They'd have gone hard from the start. Might have been 2, but Surrey aren't in a huge rush here. Roy back on strike. Wouldn't mind Ekant Singh getting a little run out with the ball. Just give him some experience. I mean, I think it's beyond winning this game. Just see if he can knock someone over. Be my thinking. Tossed up, full toss. Saw that one pretty well.
Yeah, I'm not sure the wind viz is in our favour. Right now, we don't have that to hand, but if I was a betting man...
I can tell you that the required rate is now down to 2.1 per over.
50-50. I'll say 50-50. We've got a chance. Oof.
And that is 4 to Philippi. A bit short from Lintott. And he just rocked back and he cut that 20 yards in front of square. Had all the time in the world to pick his spot. And he nailed it through cover.
Well, that's 2 overs worth of runs.
Yeah, brings the required rate down to 1.8. Journalist called Tim Wigmore, very good writer. It was a championship game here actually a few years ago. 2 low scores in the first innings and then a decent sized score. As that is smoked by Jason Roy again, back over the top. So much for the sun in the eyes being tricky. And he has cleared the ropes once again. Yeah, so low scoring game. And he said something along the lines of Kent required, or Derby required, whoever it was, Derbyshire. Something like 170 to win, and there was like 2.5 days left. 170 to win at 1 point something per over. It feels a bit like that here.
But I batted with a few who would still have a struggle chasing that down. But not Jason Roy in this form. As you say, he's not a man to give it away when he's in touch, and he certainly is that. And it's been all the way through the tournament. Going into this game, he scored over 330 runs, and now I think he's level with Billings after this inning. So climbing up that table, top batter in the tournament.
Yeah, Grant Stewart into the attack. It's a funny campaign, isn't it, for Kent? They looked, I thought, the first couple of games, I think they looked a really good side. I think Dean Forrester going, I mean, that just impacts your balance of your side, doesn't it? I mean, he came on 3 for and a quick-fire 40 not out and just looked a real class act.
Yeah.
So you lose someone of that calibre, left-handed as well, kind of what Kent are missing.
Oh, chance.
Oh no, Finch didn't pick it up. Thought he'd hit it straight down his throat, Jason Roy. But Finch didn't move. We had a very good view of it from here. And the sun wasn't in his eyes because can't blame the sun, but sometimes it was a funny delivery from Grant Stewart. It's like a slower ball bouncer, and it was like he just didn't see it at any stage until it was almost upon him. Maybe just a single, same direction. Finch saw this one, but could do nothing about it. Yeah, just Kent looked a good side, especially with Forrester in it. They looked like a decent bowling attack. They had overseas bowlers, of course, in kind of Rogers and Dudgeon to choose from alongside him, and then latterly Hassan Mahmood. You looked at that much vaunted top order who looked in decent touch. Billings probably playing as well as he's ever played in T20 cricket, leading from the front. And slapped away. But then Yeye does the fielding. But they've got a bad game in them. You know, the Worcester's bowled out for 50 odd, and here getting bowled out for 102, and Essex, they've got a bad game in them, and it's like when the tide is against them, we haven't got enough people who put in their hand up to wrest back the initiative.
You fancy Blosser Denley today, that experience in the middle order is a tough one.
Because he's quite good in those situations, especially in his kind of new role at 5. If you do lose those early wickets and you're 50 for 3, he can kind of get a runnable 25 and then kick on. Maybe get a kind of 50 off 35 type of innings. He's got that experience, but
I really felt with Forrester, one left-handed, as I've been crying out for, but that power in that lower middle order, something that Kent have not really had a consistent lot of for the last few years, and felt him going Yeye, of course, with his concussion. That's nicely played as well from Roy. That's going to race away. A lot of balls have gone in that direction towards the ambulance down there. That's another boundary to Roy. That's 50 partnership up, but it's beautifully guided down to third man. But injuries, as often the case, sadly with Kent, has hampered us a touch, and things out of our control, like Dean Forrester going, and Mutasami obviously getting injured and not coming over. He was initially the man who was supposed to be here. If you think about it that way, it was supposed to be Mutasami and Rogers. We've had Dudgeon, obviously, who's here the whole summer, but he's been roped into play a lot more. Blaston he probably was expecting, and we've had Mahmood obviously coming back, and Forrester was a replacement for Mutasami, so it's
there's been a lot going on, bit of a merry-go-round. So just 8 more runs required for Surrey to win this, and the crowd might get back for the second half of Spain-Belgium.
And it is Singh.
Yep, Akant Singh as required. It's been greeted with a 4 down the ground. It was in the slot, a bit of a loosener, but still came down at a decent clip. I think the thing with Akant is he's got a natural turn of pace. A few years ago, when he was first on the academy, he was almost exclusively a batter who bowled a bit, and he's turned himself into a more than useful all-rounder. So exciting cricketer. Be keen to make amends for treading on his stumps, but he didn't envisage that one. Just 4 needed.
That's one thing you would say for Kent, though. There is some promising youngsters, some exciting players coming through. Of course, Singh out here today, a man you'd know very well, Jay Denley. And then, of course, Dawkins, who playing today for England on-19s. I don't think he actually got too many today, but you'd expect
got 100 a few days ago, didn't he? And Ollie Curtis as well. Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of pushing for Dawkins for a while in this Blast side. I just think, you know, it's difficult because you think, well, who does he come in? Who does he come in for? I was just pushed away for a single, but you don't know how good he is until you play him, and actually he could be the best of the lot. You know, he could be Kent's best T20 Blast player from at the top of the order. He might be better than Bell Drummond and Crawley. We don't know until he plays and he gets a little run in the side. That sounds like a bit of a stretch given how good those 3 are, but so's Dawkins. You know, he's in England under 19 who's got hundreds at that level, and he hits a long ball, so I'd love to see him get a go. Here's Singh trying to get a wicket. This is flicked away, and the aforementioned Miaye will just intercept that square leg. So another single to the total. Scores a level. Odds on the tie. Required rate is 0.1.
Again, win viz is just creeping over 50 here for Surrey. Tough game, a shame. There's big crowd in tonight. I think it's been the best we've seen. Not gone to plan. And that is that. Jason Roy finishes it in style. Brings up his 50. Just 29 deliveries. 6 4s, 2 6s, following his 100 against the Sussex Sharks. He's still a very fine player, Jason Roy. And Surrey have won here emphatically by 9 wickets inside 9 overs. That is a thrashing for the Spitfires, and probably, almost certainly, ends their chances of qualifying for the knockout stages of the T20 Blast. Not enough runs, decent pitch, thought that all along. Bit of pace in it, and Surrey were excellent with the ball and just as good with the bat. Cameo from Laurie Evans, 4 6s and an over off Tom Rogers, and that man there, Jason Roy, finishing it off with 50. Yeah, pretty sorry performance that, from Kent's point of view. Tried to see some quality cricket, but sadly, pretty much all from the Surrey side, who started it off lovely with that catch from Reece Topley to begin with, and they didn't let any chances go begging. Went out there in the field, and ultimately that is where this game was lost for Kent. The Surrey batters had a pretty nice job going out there and having some fun. As say, Laurie Evans that over, demolishing Tom Rogers, and Roy just continuing his form that he's shown all the way through the Blast campaign with some glorious shots in there and bringing his 50 up at the end. But Kent are going to have to dust themselves down. They have one more game, of course, Middlesex at the weekend. Who knows? Having a look here, Essex 33 for none in their chase. Who knows? But you'd expect them to chase that down. That will mean game on Sunday will be a case of perhaps showing off some new faces. You never know. And
yeah, it's looking like a dead rubber. So story of this game, Kent skittled out for 102. The only score of note, really, the only innings of substance, Zach Crawley's 31 off 19. A few things went against him. Akant Singh trod on his stumps. Harry Finch run out backing up for 18. So not a lot of luck, but in truth it wasn't about luck, it was about the quality of the two sides. And Surrey, have to say, were outstanding. Chris Jordan 2 for 5 from 3 overs, the pick of the bowlers. And then after Laurie Evans smacked 25 of just 9 balls, including 4 sixes in a Tom Rogers over that went for 28. Jason Roy saw them home alongside Josh Philippi. Roy finishing unbeaten on 50, the one successful bowler. The pick of the bowlers, unsurprisingly, Bangladeshi Hassan Mahmood, who's excellent. He looks a real find as an overseas pro, and hopefully he'll play many more games for Kent in the weeks to come and possibly the years to come. But Kent's chances in this year's Blast hanging by the finest of threads. We will see you on Sunday. A reminder that it is a 2:30 start. You can get your tickets. Just search for Kent Cricket Tickets, and there will be plenty available. Middlesex are the visitors. Kent looking to bow out with a decent performance, but tonight, unfortunately, the Spitfires did not provide that. Surrey have won here by 9 wickets. All the usual post-match reaction on our social media channels, and we will see you on Sunday. For myself, Dave Fulton, and Cameron Emmanuel Burns, enjoy the second half of Spain against Belgium. We'll see you on Sunday.